White's queen on g6 sits one square from the black king. Black's queen on f4 sits one knight jump away from the king. There's a square h5 where a white knight could fork both at once. The problem is, the king isn't yet on the right square. Black just played qf4, attacking the knight on g3. The natural reply is to move the knight. But the geometry of h5 is too good to pass up. From h5, a knight attacks g7 and f4. We just need to make the king sit on g7 first. How do we get the black king to g7? With a check it cannot ignore. The queen on g6 captures the g7 pawn with check, and the only legal recapture is kx g7. The king has been dragged onto exactly the wrong square. Attractions sacrifice setting up a fork. We give up the queen to attract the king to g7, then jump the knight to h5 with check. From h5, the knight forks the king and the queen. We trade queen for queen plus a pawn, a small material gain, but a huge positional win. Qx g7 with check. The queen takes the pawn and gives check from one square away. Only the king can capture, because no other black piece reaches g7 in one move. The king is forced to take. Kx g7, forced. The black king now sits on g7, the very square where it can be attacked by a knight on h5, and from h5, that same knight also attacks the queen on f4. Nh5 with check. The knight forks the king on g7 and the queen on f4. The check is the kicker. Black must move the king first, abandoning the queen. Black tries kg8, walking back to the corner. Other king moves lose the same way. There's no square where the king both escapes check and defends f4. The queen is doomed. Nx f4. The knight captures the queen. White has traded a queen for a queen plus a pawn, a small gain in material, but a massive gain in position. Black's coordinated attack is gone, and the rooks on e3 and e8 are now isolated. When the enemy queen and king are exactly a knight's jump apart, look for a way to drag the king to where your knight can fork both. Sacrifice your own queen as the lure if you have to. The geometry of a knight fork against king and queen is almost always decisive.